Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Pop. My name is Mariel Bastori, greeting you from Mexico City, and I'm greeting here my beautiful co hosts Lucas from Brazil and Mauricio Sierra from Colombia. Hello, boys.
Hello,
Hello,
Maria. Hello,
boy. Hello,
Mauricio.
guys. How are you?
Great.
Great, so excited for a new episode.
Yes. So excited.
Yes. Before we start with this episode, I just want to say that 2 days ago was Mauricio's birthday. So I just want to say congratulations to my great friend
Yay.
Mauricio. Happy birthday to you, Mimao. We love you.
Happy birthday, my
Oh,
friend.
thank you, guys. I'm so excited to do this today, because it's amazing. Like, it's still a celebration for me. Um, this time I have the opportunity to celebrate with you with this episode that is my chosen topic. So I'm very excited about it. So I think it's perfect. You are in the distance, like far away from me, but at the same time I feel you very close because we are in contact all the time and we are talking, and I enjoy so much this space. So thank you. You know that I love you both so much.
We love you, Mao. We love you so much.
Yes, we do.
And yes, it just happens to be this week's his birthday and the topic that is Mao's choice.
Yes.
So dun, 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 dun. Yes, the topic for today is the R&B princesses. I know obviously we focus more on pop music, but we also try to venture into other genres, so we just don't get stuck in the same things. And R&B is Mauricio's main thing. He's like our expert here, and since last week we were talking about the pop princesses, and he didn't know much. Now it's time for Lucas and I to learn something
Learn.
new,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. And sometimes R&B can be very pop, so it's very good.
Yes.
Yes, yes. It has a lot of roots, so definitely it fits in our world. But before we
Yes.
start, I want to ask you, Mimao, why why do you love R&B so much, and why did you choose to talk about the R&B princesses today?
Okay. Oh, thank you, Mariel. It's a very interesting question. Well, when I start listening to music, I start, of course, with pop music in the 90s when I was a child, when I was a kid. So then I start. I remember a moment that was very special in my life when I started to listening to R&B music. I was in my room listening to the radio, and I think I talked about this before. And "Killing Me Softly" by Fugees started playing in the radio, and I was so. I don't know how to describe it, like so surprised, like so touched by this genre in music, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" In that moment, I wasn't sure about what was that genre in music, because we perceive maybe like everything it's pop music, but I knew that it wasn't pop, so I was like, "Oh my God, I love this." So I started searching, and I discovered R&B music that here in Colombia is not very popular, and even people here don't know that what R&B is. So I became a fan instantly because of the voices, because of the soul in the music. So yeah, that was the reason. I think that I found an identity in R&B music, and yes, it was a great moment of my life. So I think it's like connected with the answer to the question, to the other question, why did I choose this topic? Of course, because I love R&B, and we had this moment to talk about the pop princesses and the boy bands and everything. So as Lucas said, yes, I think R&B, like pop culture and pop music, it's like a bunch of genres, not only pop, but maybe country, maybe R&B, maybe EDM, a lot of music like mixing in one thing. So I think R&B, of course, is part of pop music, is part of the pop culture, and these ladies that we're going to talk about today, were an important part of the pop, I don't know, of the pop movement of the 90s and early 2000s. So even before the ones that we know, like Britney and Christina, these girls starting her career before Britney or Christina or these girls. So I think they were like the pioneers, maybe, and at the same time like an influence for these girls because I don't know, for example, Christina and Britney, in one moment in their careers, talk about people like Brandy or Aaliyah. So yes, I think this is the reason.
Yeah, I feel like you are already on the track to start. So
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes,
please,
yes, yes.
Mao.
Yes, I was
So
talking too
yes,
much.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, Mao. Thank you. It is very interesting, and thank you so much for sharing with us your passion for R&B music. And we just can't wait to hear what you have for us today. So the mic is all yours, and bring it on, Mimao, and tell us who you want to talk about today.
Okay, perfect, mi Mariel. Thank you again. I'm going to start with the original princess, or the girl that a lot of people consider that the real princess of R&B, and it's Aaliyah. So everything started with Aaliyah in 1994. She was like of course she always wanted to make music and to sing, and she was like insisting to her mom and her dad like, please, I want to participate in this kind of shows like Star Search or something like that. She was looking for an opportunity. She is the niece of Barry Hankerson, that was the owner of Black Ground Records at that time. So she had the opportunity to make a performance with Gladys Knight, the soul singer for the 70s, 80s. Yes. So she Gladys was the wife of Barry Hankerson in a moment. So Alia had the opportunity to perform with her, and the story started with that. So then Alia was signed when she was 12 to Blackground Records because Barry signed an agreement with actually I think it's the label of Britney, Jive Record, right? Jive
yeah.
Record was the label of Britney. Yes. He signed a distribution contract with Jive Records. So in that moment, they signed Aaliyah, and they start working like in the first album, that is Asian Nothing But a Number. She was very very young, like imagine a 12-year-old girl, like they she was signed, but not recording anything, not releasing anything. So time goes by, and Barry contact R. Kelly to work with Aaliyah. So at the very first time, R. Kelly didn't want to work with a girl, so with a little girl. So, but when he met Aaliyah in that moment, he was like very impressed of her talent and of her voice. So they start working in the first album, and this album, if you listen to that album, guys, is very R. Kelly influence. Like the sound is very New Jack Swing, very this kind of R&B that is mixing with hip hop a lot, with rap. So it was very very well received, and had very great results in that moment. This album was number 24 in the Billboard 200. It was released in May 24 of 1994, and peak 18 in the Billboard 200. It start in the 24th place, and then peak in the 80 in 18 place. So it was like a huge hit at that time, and it was a huge hit not only for the artist, also for the record label, because this record label was not like a huge record label. So Aaliyah was like a phenomenon at that time, a sensation. So not only in the R&B scene, in the pop scene too, and she was the pioneer for the other ladies like Brandy or Monica. She was the first, and actually, in interviews, you always going to see that Brandy and Monica recognize Aaliyah as the mentor, as the first one, like the original one, because she was the first appearing in the scene. In that moment in time, actually, they didn't believe in kids acts like in a kid doing this, because at that time, Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and all these people were making music, but we are talking about these girls that were like 14 or 13, very young. So the industry didn't believe in this kind of acts. So that's the reason Aliyah is so important, because of that. So then, well, there is something that a lot of people know about the problem with Ali and R. Kelly, because they got married at that time. She was a minor, so it was a problem. And well, things like things maybe not important in the music process. It is more like personal. So then for the second album, she was signed with Atlantic Records. I have it here. That is my favorite. That is One in a Million. That for me is her best album. It's like a gem. She started working with Missy Elliott and Timbaland, and in that moment, Missy Elliott and Timbaland were not so recognized, so famous. They were starting their careers, so they were very afraid to work with her, because she had like a very successful album that was her debut, and they were very like, oh my God, this girl is a diva, and we are starting our career this time. So, but she was very warm, and all the people that surround Ali at that time says that she was very warm, she was very nice, she was very cute, and they start working with Aaliyah in this second album, and it was like perfection for me. It's one of the, I think I consider this is one of the best R&B albums of the decade. It's amazing. The sound is very distinctive from the others. So at that time, all I consider that not only the voice and the music was was good for Aaliyah to be recognized. Also, her mystic aura around her, like she was very she her aura was very mystic, like very I don't know how to say it, like very mysterious. Like she was like a mystery, um, and her look very tomboy. So these things I think were like very good for her to be recognized and to be very distinctive from the others. So, and I think in this album in special, with, for example, with this look, with the hair in her eye and everything about her was like very interesting to see. And I think this album was an amazing job from them, and very you hear this album and it's very different from the others. Like you can hear in some songs like a baby crying and a baby laughing. It's very distinctive, and this sound was created by Missy and Timbaland, so it's great. I think it's great. And we go with the third album. I perceive the third album more pop. It's not a pop album, but I perceive this album, and I think you guys perceive the same, because it's more like yes, it's more like not in, of course it's an R&B album, but not in the hip hop direction. It's more like pop, more like danceable. I love this album so much. In that moment they say that Timbaland was not so convinced to release this album because because Timbaland didn't want this direction for Aaliyah. So they say they have some disagreements at the time. They were not like very united that like they were at the beginning of the work. So but I think this album is also amazing. Try Again was number one in the Billboard Hot 100. That is the soundtrack of Romeo Must Die. And actually, I forgot to remember that Back and Forth, that was the debut song, was number five in the Billboard Hot 100 and was number one in the R&B hip hop songs. It was very well received. It was like very successful song. So by this time, she was like everything. Like at that time, they start consider Aaliyah as the princess of R&B. So she was very successful at that time, and you know that very sadly we lost this amazing, beautiful woman that I love. Rest in peace, Miss Aaliyah, because it was a tragedy. You know, in an airplane accident, taking an airplane from Bahamas. It was very sad tragedy to lose this woman because I think she got everything. Like she was like the 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 real princess of R&B, I think. So the next one was Miss Brandy. I think Brandy is my favorite one. I love all, but Brandy is very special for me. Brandy debuted in 1994 too. uh, uh, for Brandy was very difficult because at that time she was like knocking doors, like please sign me because she was very insisting so much in different labels, and all the labels rejected her. Like, you are not very good. You don't have this beautiful voice or this powerful voice that we need for this moment. And at last, Atlantic Records signed her, and she was very proud of that because in different interviews she said like a lot of people didn't believe in me because I was like maybe not so attractive for them, and I'm here. I had the opportunity to sign and to start working in my first album, and I'm so proud of it. And it was like the best decision because I think she's great, amazing. She was very influenced by Whitney Houston, and at the age of 7 she was like watching a performance by Whitney Houston, and she was like, oh my god, I want to be like her. So that's the reason she wanted to be a singer. So she did other accolades, like participating in a very successful show that was Moesha, and another shows. The album Brandy was released in September 27th of 94, and debuted in the place of 20 in the Billboard 200. That is a very good place. I Wanna Be Down was the first song that was released. That was the debut. It peaked at number 6 in the Billboard Hot 100 and was number 1 again, like Back and Forth by Aaliyah, in the R&B and hip hop songs. In an interview, Brandy says like at that time everything was about Aaliyah because Aaliyah was the first. So she was about to perform, and one of the producers or something asked her like, "Who do you love?" And she said like, "I love Aaliyah." And okay, they say like, "Okay, perform I Wanna Be Down," and she was doing like the same dance move and everything in the same way of Aaliyah did I Wanna Be Back and Forth in that moment. So one of the producers says, "Okay, I love Aaliyah too, but you have to be yourself, not copying Aaliyah." Because everything was about Aaliyah, so it's a story that I really love because with this we can see that Aaliyah was very influential in other girls. So then we have this amazing song that is a classic that was like for me broke the history of R&B in two. That is The Boy's Mine. In that moment, at first, like in the Britney, that's the reason I said like this was like the first feud. Before Britney and Christina, we had in that moment Brandy and Monica. At first, they tried to put some tension in Aaliyah and Brandy, but Aaliyah always show respect for the other fellow singers. So then they start to put some tension in Brandy and Mom and Monica and compare them so much. And you know, guys, it's very common for the music industry to compare young ladies, Britney and Christina, Mariah, Whitney, Madonna, and Cyndi Lauper. I don't know, a lot of examples. And in that moment, they were very compared at that time. So Brandy had the idea at that time of recording a song with Monica, and it was perfect because in that song they were fighting over a boy. She mentioned that in New York, like by coincidence, she saw Monica, and she asked her like, I have this idea of make this song with you because we are comparing all the time like rivals, so it's going to be like a huge hit. Please do this song with me. And Monica was like, I don't know, I have to talk with my people about it because I'm not very convinced. So, well, for Dallas Austin, that was the producer of Monica, was a very good idea. So they start working, and we have this amazing hit that was number one for a lot of weeks in the Billboard Hot 100. And everybody was talking about this, like, wow, my God! It's like, for example, imagine, guys, a collaboration in that time with Britney and Christina, a total hit. So this song was like a huge. They won a Grammy because of that. It was like huge, huge. This song is part of. Let me see. I have it here. Of this album that I consider is my favorite. Never Say Never. Never Say Never was very well received in the charts. Like very successful album at that time, and actually Christina and Britney at that time mentioned this album as one of the influential albums for her records. So yes, and the third place is Monica with this album that I have here. Monica, of this group of three, Monica was like the last one. She was signed with Arista Records. She debuted in 1995. This album was number 36 in the Billboard 200. That is a good place. Not like so successful as the others, like Brandy and Aaliyah, but it was very good received. Don't Take It Personal was the first album that was the first single. Sorry, was number two in the Billboard Hot 100 and was number one as Back and Forth and I Wanna Be Down. Also, Don't Take It Personal was number one in the Hot R&B and hip hop songs. It's curious because I consider Monica is like the less known of this group of ladies, but Monica has three number ones in the Billboard Hot 100. The Boy Is Mine with Brandy, Angel of Mine, and The First Night that I have here. Today I'm so excited because I have a lot of things to show. So
Show
I
more,
want to
show
show
more.
everything. Yeah, I want to show everything. So
Show more this
yes.
one, Mao. You
Okay,
were
okay.
very fast. Oh, beautiful.
This
Thank you.
is the the vinyl, the single vinyl of the first night that was number one in the Billboard Hot 100. And with Monica was like Dallas Austin was so surprised by her voice, so he offered a contract with Arista Records, and I perceive that these three ladies maybe have some similarities, but at the same time they were so different. Monica was so more attitude. Brandy was more polished, like the sweet girl. Analia has like this mystic aura, like around her, like very mystery thing. So yeah, I think maybe they were for the same audience because they are three ladies, young ladies making R&B music, but very different at the same time. And the fourth, but not, yes, the fourth is, I have here, Miss Maya.
Yeah.
Brandy, Monica, and Aaliyah were like at the same time, the three, like the three all the time, the three. And for Maya was different because Maya debuted in '98. This album was number 29 in the Billboard 200, so it was also very well received. It's All About Me was number 6 in the Billboard Hot 100. That was the first album. That was the first single that was released from that album. In the case of Maya, they were trying to put another lady to compete with Aaliyah, Brandy, and Monica, like with the same formula. So I think for her was like, okay, we have all this faith in you, like you're going to be huge, because at that time she was working like different hot producers and hot songwriters like Diane Warren and Darkchild and a lot of people like that. So they had a lot of faith in Maya to become a great successful act. In the first place, it was not like that, like because this album is not huge, but in the second album, that is Fear of Flying, it was great because we have in this album Case of the X. This album was number 15 actually in the Billboard 200, and Case of the X was number 2 in the Billboard Hot 100 and was huge at that time. This album, I think, has a lot of pop vibes. For example, if you listen to songs like "Free" or "Taking Me Over," songs like that is very pop. And I don't know if you remember, guys, the video for "Free" when she's like dancing with the skates and yes, it's very pop. Is very pop oriented, and I think it was a good movement for Maya to move in that direction because okay, she was doing R&B, but at the same time she was like focusing in other audience. Maya is considered actually the queen of the Y2K movement, and it was great. It was great for her because I think for these young ladies is so difficult to be compared to the others, like because these girls want to be original, want to be distinctive, and for Maya in that moment, for example, maybe Alia danced a little bit, but in the case of Brandy or Monica, they were not dancers. Maya was a great dancer, so they take advantage of it, and Maya was dancing all the time in her videos, like in a very Janet Jackson vibe. So it was great. So that's all, guys. I'm so excited today because of that, because I'm very passionate about this topic. But it's everything for now.
Great, Mo.
Yes. Thank you, Mao. I mean, it was
And
very
now
enlightening
I
because. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh no, no, I was about to say like is the turn for Mariel to talk about another girls that came after these ladies.
Yes, thank you, Mao. I mean, it was very enlightening to hear all this information from you because I obviously know who these girls are. I have listened to some of their albums, but don't know much of how they came out, like
Yeah,
in this
same.
business. And so I think Lucas,
Okay.
yes, we're in the same page. And I love how you show us albums. I don't have one of those albums, so yeah. Now it's our turn to be like this. So anyway,
Okay,
moving
okay,
on.
okay, okay. I'm
Uh,
so I'm so I'm so happy.
no, yeah, it was your turn, and it's really cool that you have all their discography. I
Yes.
mean, you definitely are a huge fan of these girls. So yes, thank you, Mao. And now
Yes.
moving on. Da-da-da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-da-da-da-dun. Now it's time to talk about the Queen, darling, the Queen from
Yes.
2002. I'm just using the I don't know if you guys heard
Yes, yes,
these
yes,
the
yes.
intro to the Foolish songs.
Yes. I noticed. I noticed. Da 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 da. Yes. Yes.
I
I noticed that.
love that song. Yes, I don't have those albums, so if you Mao can show them for us, it would be great. Um, yes, Miss Ashanti, who was very popular in the early 2000s. She was before she released her debut album Ashanti, she collaborated with Fat Joe and
Ja Rule.
Ja Rule. Yes, Ja Rule. I'm just missing the name.
Ja
So
Rule.
I'm always confused with
Yes.
JC. So and and the two songs that
Okay.
she released, the two songs she released with them were like super popular, and were two of the most popular songs of 2002. What's Love and what's the other now? Always on Time.
Yes.
Always
Yes.
on time. Always on time. Yes.
Always there when you call. Yeah, I love it. And then she released her debut
But
album.
always on time.
Yeah. She released her debut album in 2002, which debuted at number one on the Billboard 200, which, unlike the other girls that Mao was mentioning, she, being her first album, went to number one.
Yes.
So I think that's not easy for anybody. Like, I'm going to release music, nobody knows who I am, and all of a sudden my song is number one and my album is number one. So it's pretty
A
cool
great
because
achievement. Yes.
a great achievement. She was working with Irv Gotti, and she had very well producers. She co-wrote all of the songs from her debut album, and released the all-time famous and her most famous song today, which is "Foolish." And for this video, she actually did it with Terrence Howard, the actor, which is like, why is an actor that is so famous like Terrence Howard working with a girl that is just barely beginning? And it's great. I mean, that shows that they saw potential in her, and Foolish was a huge hit. It went also, like I told you, number one, and even made it to number 4 on the UK. It was certified platinum, and in Australia, the UK, the US. So it was a huge song, huge song. And other songs came out from that album, like Happy, which is one of my favorites, and Movies too. So those songs were popular, but not as popular.
Movies,
Happy. No, it's not Movies. It's Baby. I'm sorry. Happy picked at number 8, and Baby picked at number 15. So they were good, but they weren't as popular as Foolish. And at the same time, she was nominated for a Soul Train
Yes.
Award for the Aretha Franklin's newcomer, or like a very important award. And people were kind of angry because this award was being given to someone that was barely beginning. So they started sending letters to the main producers of the show, and saying that Ashanti was like so young, and why aren't you giving this award to someone with wider career like Mary J. Blige or someone like that. And they stuck with their decision and they said, no, we are giving this award to Ashanti because we believe that she has a lot of potential and that she's a great entrepreneur. So that happened. And then she released her second album, which is Chapter 2, in 2003. Mao, do you have it there with you?
Of course.
I know you do. And this album also peaked at number 1, so she already had 2 albums at number 1. And the two first singles, which are Oh Baby, Rock With You, peaked at number 2, and Rain on Me peaked at number 7.
Yes.
So she was doing very well. She kept a nice career to then. And when she released the Christmas album, it peaked at number 163 on the 200. So it was like from having 2 number 1 albums, it went like totally down. And things began changing a little for Ashanti, since her upcoming albums, Concrete Rose peaked at number 7, The Declaration peaked at number 6, and Braveheart at number 10. I mean, her following albums, did enter the top 10, but yes, The Declaration. Yes, I love you, Mao. I love how he has everything.
I don't have Braveheart. Yes,
Oh, well.
I don't have Braveheart actually.
But it's okay, Mao. I was going to tell you that after she released her Concrete Rose spawned the single Only You, which picked at number 13. After
Yes.
that, none of her singles entered the Billboard 100 at top 20. Only one song, The Way That I Love You, picked at number 37 in 2008.
The Way That I Love You.
But from that moment on, from 2008 to
Yes.
this day, she hasn't had a top 10 or a song that enters the charts. So from all of a sudden, her career was like
in
this.
the Billboard Hot One. In the Billboard Hot 100.
Yes, her career was like this, and all of a sudden, boom, it fell down. She's really talented now. She has her own record label. She went apart from Irv Gotti, but
Yes.
and she has collaborated with different artists, but unfortunately her career hasn't took off like we would expected her to, because we saw a lot of Ashanti back in the 2002 2003, and all of a sudden she disappears, but we still have her amazing songs, and Foolish is to this day one of the most popular songs out there. And Mao, who has actually seen her live, knows how people is passionate about this song. And you told me, I remember perfectly when we saw each other, when I asked you about Ashanti, and you told me people were like crazy every time this song started playing. So because it's an anthem.
Yes, it's an anthem, and she's very close to the people in the audience. Like, she's very nice. She is interacting all the time with people. And another fact that was very important in this show, that was the Lovers and Friends in 2022 actually, was like she was performing with Ja Rule. So it was very special because they were singing all of the songs that they have, like Always on Time, What's Love, Mesmerize. All of the songs were performed by them. So it was a very special moment. She's incredible. She's amazing. I perceived
Yes.
in that moment of the 2000 decade, everything was about J-Lo, Beyonce, and when Beyonce appeared in the scene, all the R&B ladies were like, I don't know, like, were out.
Yes, we're shut
Like,
down.
because everything was, yes, were shut down. Thank you, Maril, because everything was about Beyonce.
Yes, and it's good that you mentioned now Beyonce, because the next singer that I'm talking about was actually stolen. Let's
Yes,
just
yes.
say that because well, you know this better than I do, Mao. But well, the next one
Yes,
is
yes.
Miss Amory, who, by the way, oh yes, love Amory. Is this one thing that got me tripping? Yes, yes, baby.
I
Um,
love it.
she,
Yes.
she also came out in 2002 with her first album All I Have, which peaked at number 9 on the US, on the 200, top 200, which is actually very good. I mean, a 9 spot for a newcomer, so it's really good. And she had moderate success with her song Why Don't We Fall in Love and Talking to Me. But she wasn't taking off like her record label was expecting her to. She was very different because Amory is half Korean, half African American, so her her looks were pretty different
Her
from the
features?
other.
Yes.
Her features, yes, were very different from the other R&B girls that we were just talking about because it's very, it's not common to see someone
No.
with from African American roots being mixed with Asian roots.
With
So
Asian
it's
roots.
really
Yes.
she's like very exotic. She has a very exotic beauty, and so that was
Beautiful,
very
yes.
different, very different for us to see someone like her because all of the other ones were pretty much the same standard. So
Yes.
Amory was very different, and even though she was having yes her success, not so much until 2005 when she released that album that Mao just showed us, which is Touch, which picked up number 5 and had the number. No, it wasn't number 1, but it picked up number 8. The lead single One Thing. It was a song that
Yes.
went like crazy. Everybody was dancing to it. It was really different from other R&B songs that we have heard out there because it mixed like like funky and it was like really quick. So it wasn't like the typical R&B song, and it was really cool and it was a happy song. And after that, just like Shanti, the following singles that Emery released from her third album, Because I Love It, and In Love and War, none of those singles managed to enter the Hot 100 and even had very low spots on the R&B charts. I mean, number 55, number
Yes.
81. So she didn't do so well as people was expecting her to. And we also know that, for what I know, I'm not making this up, that Beyonce was stealing some of her songs and her sounds. Mao can tell us a little bit more about that, but they say that Beyonce was stealing Amory. Please tell us more about that.
Yes, well, it was Beyonce and it was J-Lo actually, because when One Thing was released, it I don't know if you remember, guys, that story about If You Had My Love by J-Lo, because the song was recorded at first by Chantemur in 1991, 1999, sorry. And the song "If I Gave Love" was released, and then they released "If You Have My Love," like it's like the same song. So at that time, these producers want to take these songs that they see had potential at that time to be released by big singers like J-Lo or Beyonce. And in the moment when they were working in One Thing with A. Mary, J-Lo wanted that song too. So what the producer made at that time was release that song before it was taken. So when J-Lo recorded the song was already playing in the radio, the A. Mary version. So it was like a trick to avoid the song was robbed by J-Lo or by the producer. So yes, yes, yes.
But it was J Lo, not Beyonce.
It was J-Lo. I remember, and I don't remember very well the story about Beyonce, but I
I think
think Go
I
ahead,
think there's something
Lupitas.
with Crazy in Love involved.
Yes,
I'm not
yes, yes,
sure.
yes. I don't
Yes.
remember very well the story, but Mariel is right. There was like something that happened with Beyonce at that time. I can remember.
Yes.
I think it was about like the style because this formula of the of was part of the Amory success. It was taken by Beyonce at the first time.
Yeah.
Yes, I try not to meddle too much into their gossips and their drama between the girls because I think that what counts is their talent. But I do know that
Yes.
there was something with Beyonce, and now that you mentioned J Lo, it is very interesting because one thing has a lot of resemblance to J Lo's Get Right.
Yes.
It's kind of the
Yes.
same vibe, you know.
Yes, 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 yes,
So it's
yes,
like
yes,
the same vibe.
I,
yes,
I
yes. You are
believe that Get
totally
It
right.
Right was made because of this story. Like J-Lo cannot use
Actually,
one thing anymore.
And Get Right was first
But Get
recorded by Usher.
by
Usher,
Usher,
yes.
yes,
Yeah, I know J
J-Lo.
Lo has a lot of stealing out there with her songs. We know what happened with Miss
yes,
Mariah,
yes,
but in the
yes,
Lover Boy song and I'm Real, so we know that she has
Shanti.
all with
Yes.
Ashanti
Ashanti,
and
yes.
yes, so we know there has been some conflicts out there with J-Lo, but we are not talking about her today. So I just
No,
talked about
no.
Ashanti and Amory, and now it's time for Lucas to tell us all about some underrated R&B princesses that could have been so successful, but something happened. So it's your turn, Luquitas.
Yes, guys, there's always a sad story because we love music, but we don't love the music industry that much because there's a
Mhm.
lot of things behind the walls, behind the stories. So today I'm going to talk about first about Christina Milian. That is one of my favorites from this era of pop R&B. Yes, this girl. Wow, I love her, and as the other ones, she started very young. Like her mother um, told some magazines that she used to be that kid that keeps saying, "I want to be inside of the television," when she was like 3 years old. When she was 9, her family decided to help her in auditions. Um, so she played Annie in a local formation of this very famous musical, but in the city that she used to live when she was a kid. And she made a few commercials. And when she was 13, her mother realized that maybe she could be like huge, but as an actress at first. So they moved to LA. Actually, that caused the failed of the marriage of her mother. She left her father behind
Oh,
for her daughter to help her. So she was a very strong woman, and things helped very quickly. Actually, when she moved to LA, when she was 13, she had this job on Disney Channel. She was one of the hosts of the show called Movie Surfers, Movie Surfers. That was
Surfers,
kind
yeah.
of they showing. Yeah, thank you. They showing the backstage of the movies and the TV shows of the Disney universe, and at this time she told some friends that she wanted to sing. And 6 months later, that she moved in LA, she was living in this complex of apartments. It was the same that Dark Child was living. So in a moment they met each other. She sang to him, and they started to work together. And now you probably think why I don't have any song by Christina Milian produced by Dark Child. And it is because they work at like 1 year and a half in songs, and for some reason that I don't know what it is, he never wanted to send any demo by Christina to any label. She was like, "Why not? The song is good. The song is good." You know why? Mal?
Yes, yes, yes. It was because she is not African American completely. She is
She's
also
Cuban.
Latina because her
Yes.
mother is, yes. So
So it
at
was
that
because of
time,
Joy or not?
yes, yes, it
I
was
imagine that.
because, yeah, well, it was because they didn't know how to showcase her or something like that, like to release her, like, is it's Latina or is a black girl? Is too black to be Latina, but is not Latina. So that
Okay.
was the reason. Yes.
Which
Okay.
is crazy
Actually, she,
because, I mean, I'm sorry, Lucas. Dark Child is
no
married
worries.
to Joy Enriquez, so it's kind of crazy because
I thought that I don't know if they worked already together 2001 Dark Child and
yes, they were
Joy, but
starting dating.
they
They
were
started dating back in the day.
okay.
Yes,
So I thought that maybe the reason was not to create competition. Another girl
could be.
against my girlfriend, maybe. But actually, you're right. She's half Cuban, and her name is Cristina Flores. Actually,
Yes.
Milian is her mother's name, but she changed it especially for this because she knew that if she was Cristina Flores, the roles for her in the movies would be very restricted. So she changed it to Milian. Uh, so when Dark Child was never helping her to get signed, she started to write her own music, and she recorded a demo herself, and she sent it to the labels herself. That's when she met Ja Rule. Ja Rule once again is part of this story, and he asked her to be part of his album in 2000 and the single Between Me and You. Uh, and it was like a hit. It was very well succeeded, number 11 on Billboard. And in 2001, she was signed to Def Soul Murder Inc. Label that Ja Rule was part. Actually, Ashanti was part of this too, I believe. Murder Inc.
Ordering. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and at the same time, Christina
Actually,
was.
Ashanti was the first. Sorry, Luquitas. Ashanti was the first lady in murdering.
Oh yeah, I believe back then there was only Ashanti and Christina Milian, uh,
Yes.
as girls,
Mm.
right? And she continued to write songs for her for other artists. So in 2001, we have Same Old by PYT, was written by Christina, and Play by Jennifer
By J
Lopez.
Lo.
Jennifer
We are
Lopez.
talking about J Lo again. Actually, J Lo kept the vocals of Christina Milian in the
Of
chorus. So
Christine.
if you listen to the song, it's all Christina singing.
Yes.
Um, we're talking about Shanti, and she did the same with the remix of Ain't It Funny. The vocals
And
are
it's
Yes.
funny.
Ashanti on that track.
Yes. I forgot to mention
Yes,
that
Um,
yes.
and the remix of I'm Real.
Uh,
The Ashanti vocals are
oh.
in the because Ashanti made the demo.
yes,
Oh.
yes.
Oh,
She
okay,
she
okay.
kept this from the demos. So okay, moving on. It's not J Lo today, but we have a lot to talk about this girl.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. J Lo was
Yes,
in relation with these ladies. Yes.
yes. And as the main pop stars back then, Christina Milian recorded her album in Sweden with the best producers, and the first single was AM to PM that I have here to show you guys,
Love that
which is like
song.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I
very
love
pop.
it. Because I don't
This
have
song
this
is very
album. I
pop.
love it. Yes.
Yes, you can feel like some R&B roots in this, but it's mainly pop,
It's
and it
mainly
It's
was
pop.
mainly pop.
released,
Yes.
yes, in US, in UK, in a lot of countries. In UK, it was number 3, and in US, number 27. And back then, she was a VJ on MTV. She used to host a show, and people, I think they tried to make a cover for other artists, like a wannabe or something like this. And she was the host. So she had a good promotion on radios and also on MTV with AM to PM. And this album was supposed to be released in September 2001, and we actually mentioned before that the 9/11 changed the rules for music. So the album was delayed in the US because it was supposed to be released 2 weeks after this moment in time in US. So it was delayed, but it was released in Europe in October as it was planned. And when she come back to US to promote, like they tried to release more singles. So they made a video for Getaway with Ja Rule that was kind of a promo single. They also released it Spending Time in some radios, also as a promo. But in Europe, she was like doing much better. Like When You Look at Me was the next single back then, which is very pop too. I have the
Very
cover.
pop, yes.
I have the single that I really don't like this cover, but I have it here.
She looks very sweet, like very,
I don't
Very
know. For me, it
innocent.
looks like a
very
60s
innocent.
cover. I don't know.
Yes.
The image is like retro. I don't know. The cover inside, there's nothing to do with this.
Yes. Very
Okay.
sexy, actually.
Yes, and it was number 3 on the UK and very well in very countries in Europe. So they wanted to promote Christina in the second part of 2002 in the US. We finally released the album, but uh, it's not a good time for new albums to be released because of the Grammy rules and everything. So she decided to never release this in the US. So in 2002, all that she made was release music in the UK. She released a song with the singer Romeo called It's All Gravity, number 9.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She released the Kim Possible theme song, Call Me Beep Me, in US, and she was part of Santa Claus Lane, the Christmas album by Hilary Duff in December 2002. And she started to make more movies too. So MTV helped her actually with the actress part because she met a lot of directors of the music videos who also were directing movies. So she was in a movie called Turkey with a small role, and she started the iconic movie Love Don't Cost a Thing with her boyfriend at the time, Nick Cannon, which I love. I love this movie. I
Yes.
have the DVD, but I forgot to show you here. Brazil is
Oh my
by
god,
Shawn
somebody
Jalugiel.
dating
Um,
somebody dating Nick Cannon? That's new.
Oh,
Yes. Who? I'm not. My daughter is not Nick Cannon's, so it was like a movement, right? Because
Yes.
let's just say my,
Yes.
my son or my daughter is not Nick Cannon's child. So yes,
a lot of
I'm
guys.
shocked.
Yes, a lot of kids.
Yes.
Yes. So I love this movie here in Brazil. Actually, it's Amor em Aluguel, something like Love on Rent. You pay for the love, something like this. I
What
love
is
this.
the name
this
in
movie.
Spanish, Manuel? Do you remember? El amor no cuesta nada, or something like that. It's in Spanish. The name
No,
of this
no me
movie.
acuerdo. No, I can't remember.
I think it's El amor no cuesta nada, or something like that.
Okay.
Mm.
Amor se paga con amor, porque
Amor se
Like
yes.
the
Oh,
song of
J
Song
Lo's
in Spanish is
J Lo
just
song
Amor.
is
yes,
Amor.
yes, it's the same title. Yes.
Yeah. Well, after all, 2003, Christina was very confused because sometimes the label want her to be like this R&B girl and with rappers, and sometimes she was the young girl on the clubs and very innocent. So she was like, people are not buying it. They don't understand who I am. So I wanted to do something different. So in this moment, Def Soul record ended, and she moved it to Island Records, and she started to work in 2003 in the second album. But she perceived that the music they were giving to her, no, not this one, Mo, the other one.
Yes.
Yes,
one?
it's
Yes.
about time. Yes, because
It's about
the
time.
first one I
Sorry,
don't
sorry.
have here. Actually, I hate myself because when I was in England, I found this album. It was like two libras.
Yes.
I was like, I'm finding a lot of CDs with 50 cents. I don't know. So I'm not buying this because I will find again cheaper, but I never did.
I know what
Oh,
you mean.
I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
So I
yes,
don't
yes.
have it.
I
Yes.
never, I never saw this album in my life. Yeah, I want it so much because I love this album. So
Yes,
I
me
hate
too.
you. Look at this.
So
It
when
was
she
not a
started
clever
to
decision.
not when she started to record this, producers were giving her like pop rock songs because it was 2003, and was like more heavy hip hop, like the songs that 50 Cent was doing, and things like that. And she was like, "This is not me." So she decided to travel around the world and met these different producers all around the world to record this. The "It's About Time" album. Actually, the name is very good because it was the first album on US, so it was about time for sure. And the first single was the amazing, the iconic "Deep Low,"
GP Low.
uh,
Low.
her biggest hit. It was number 2 on UK, number 5 on US, number 1 on the clubs. Um, and the year end chart 2004, the Billboard was 23, so it was very good. And I have I have in mind. Wow, it's very beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, friend.
Wow.
I love
Love
It's
that
yes.
song.
beautiful. Yes.
And she released a lot of different versions around the world to promote this. There's versions in Asian with a rapper. There's a Latino version, more reggaeton. Uh, there's in US remix with Fabulous, which was the official version there. So it was very good for her. And this album, "It's About Time," was number 14 on Billboard. So it was
That is
good.
very good. Yes.
Yes, actually, there's a song here, "I Need More." That there's a
Mm.
sample from "Glide" by Rachel Stevens from S Club 7. So it's a fun
Mm.
fact in
Oh,
here. Maybe it's
yes.
the same producer. I don't know. And
It's the same
actually,
background music. Yes.
yes, and actually, it was so good for her that she got nominations on 2005 Grammy with this album. She was nominated for Best Contemporary R&B Album, and Deep Low for Best Rap Collaboration. And as I say, the remixes. And the second single was "Whatever You Want," which was not good as Deep Low, unfortunately,
I love
because
it
it's
too.
very good.
Yes.
Yes,
It's
I love it
amazing.
too. And the song did enter on the Billboard 100, but the number was 100.
Okay.
So
Dang.
yeah, she
Yes.
was there, but
She was
Yes,
there
but
at the
only
end.
In the last
At
place.
the end.
Yes.
yes. Oh,
Yes.
UK, she did better. She was number 9, and in 2005, 2006, she made a lot of movies like "Be Cool," "Man of the House," "Pose." So her career was in a good place. So for the next album, 2006, she decided to go more urban. Actually, she decided that because she felt like the R&B was the real roots of Christina, but she felt like she was doing better on the pop radio, not so much on the R&B charts. So she wanted to be more in this universe. And Elaine Reid, the guy in the label, told her, "You can do this. I will support, and I will bring a lot of producers to help you." And she started to work with a duo of producers called Cole and Drake. And actually, when she met those guys, she was like, "I don't want anybody else. I don't need another producers." So from 11 tracks, I believe there's in the album, 10 they produce it. There's 11 more.
Yes.
Yes,
11.
it's this album called
So
So Amazing.
amazing.
So amazing.
Yes. The first single is actually very more urban than the other ones. It's "Say I," featuring Young Jeezy. Was released in February 2006, number 21 on US, number 4 on the UK. And the album was released in April 2006. It's more personal, this album, because she had a very public relationship with Nicky Cano, and she found out that he was cheating on her. No, Nick Cano cheating someone again. But at the time, it was very hard for her. Like she said that she was very loyal, very good girl for him, and she used that in the album. So there's a lot of honesty in this album. But what happened was like L.A. Reid said, "I will support you," but 1 week after the album was released, they dropped, they fired her from the label.
Yes,
Dang.
because they prefer Rihanna, actually.
Oh, sorry, Mom, you cut it.
Because they prefer to make the investment on Rihanna.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Once again, the fault is Rihanna. We mentioned
Yes.
before other girls that suffer the same, and it was exactly like this. Like they were cutting um, spends, like they said, but Rihanna was actually the reason. Actually, Christina Milian said SOS by Rihanna was supposed to be her song.
Or Christina.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and that never happened. And the album uh, was not that bad. It was number 11, sold uh, less than the other one, but was not that bad. And she tried to continue to promote the album because the label had the songs so they could use, and they sent gonna tell everybody to the radio, mostly because of the Nicky Cano thing. The lyrics are about this, and Christina promoted a little in a few shows, and she wanted to move to another label and bring this song with her and made a music video, but that never happened, which is a shame because it was this song had a lot of potential
A
as a
lot.
single.
Yes.
Yes. So in 2008, she was in MySpace Records. She announced the album Dream in Color, released the single Us Against the World, that is very nice song, but failed
Yes.
to charge. Uh, and she, in this moment, changed label again for the Dreams, the rapper The Dreams label, Radio Killa, and actually she had a relationship with him also. They had a
Yes.
kid together, a daughter, and
Mm-hmm.
she announced that the album was no longer calling Dream in Color. It was Hello. That I love this name. Actually, there's a cover somewhere in the internet, but album was never released.
Never
There's a lot of
released.
songs. Like I have like three different fake albums by Christina Milian in my computer.
Yes.
And yes, but in 2009, actually, she made a great move because she wrote "Baby" by Justin Bieber. So I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure that she's very secure, like financial forever because of this song.
Yes.
And yeah, right. And she was in the movie Bring It On too. And in this moment, she signed with Interscope. So she was constantly changing labels.
Label.
And
Mm-hmm.
in 2010, she said, "Okay, now I'm going to release this album." But she got pregnant, and when she had the baby in the summer of 2010, she came back to the studio because the lyrics of what she did before was not making sense anymore now that she was a mother. And when everything was done, she separated from the Dream that was the producer, so it was not released again. And 2011, she performed Zipper as the main single, but it was
Mm.
canceled. So she did different things. She was on The Voice. In 2012, she signed with Young Money, the Lil Wayne record label,
Record label.
and she started
Yes.
to have a relationship with Lil Wayne too.
Yes.
Yes, so she worked a lot in this album, but the first thing that they released as official thing in this label was a Stafford Brothers single that they were like this EDM group from Australia. The song, there's Christina Milian and Lil Wayne, called Hello. It was very good on Australia. It was number four. And in 2014, Lil Wayne released a single with Christina called Start a Fire that I really like too. They're actually a performance on American Music Awards, but the song failed to chart too. So 2015, she released uh, this reality show on E with her family and an EP with four music videos: Rebel, Do It, A Liar, and Like, Snoop Dogg. But it was kind of good on YouTube, but not so good on the charts. So the last thing she did was like 2016, a song with the DJ Harvey called On the Night. And in 2017, she married with the French pop star Matt Pokora.
Yes.
Matt
Yes,
Pokora, yes.
yes. And they had a baby boy in 2019. The same year that she released, I believe it was the last song that she did was Saturday with DJ called Darko. This song was not good anywhere but in my house. It was like no my second most played song in 2019. I
Oh.
heard
Okay.
a lot this song. So she made a movie for Netflix, and that's it. We don't have anything else in music by Christina. But there's a movement right now on Twitter. I forgot the the ac- the account. Mal knows the guy who is always trying to make unreleased music to see the light of the day. He's always tagging us on Twitter.
Uh, a person that is trying to the labels put the music in the platforms, like
Yes, he's doing like
Isn't it
some noise to.
pop music activism?
I don't remember the name right now. I will put here in the video. So now you guys are watching, you would be here. And he's
yes,
make this movement to elope to be released. And actually
yes.
someone from the label is giving him attention saying we have the songs. We just need
Oh,
we just
Oh.
need that Christina or someone for her team to agree with this. Uh, Looks like mom is not happy with this. Like she don't want Christina in music business anymore. But let's see what happens.
what happens?
Hopefully.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Hopefully
yes.
we're going to have. So now I'm going to talk about Cassie, which is from
Oh,
kind of
yes.
the same time that Christina Milian was in
Yes.
music.
Sadly, I don't have any Cassie albums. Sorry.
Me
Neither
neither.
do
Me
I.
neither. I
Uh,
really want to have her debut album, uh, but here in Brazil was never released, and I never found it anywhere. But I really want this. And Cassie, her name is Cassandra Ventura. We were talking about the different kind of beauty. For me, she's the most beautiful woman ever. Like she and Cheryl from Girls Aloud, I love them. For me, they are so beautiful. Yes, and she's mixed. Like her mom is West Indian and Mexican, and the father is Filipino.
Yay.
So yes,
mhm.
and there's a lot of mixing in this, and she's very beautiful. And she start because of that. She started her career as a model at age 14. Back then, she was part of the music video of the singer Mario. That I'm pretty sure that Mauricio likes him.
Mau
Of
The
knows
course,
music,
I
everything.
love him.
yes,
Yes, I
the
love
music
him.
video is
I had the
just a
opportunity
friend.
to give my hand to him in this festival because he was walking between the places that I was in general. There was like a gap, like a space between VIP and the general area, and he was
Mhm.
walking. and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Mario!" And I start like like crying, and nobody was like knowing about this, and I
Reacting.
start crying.
Yeah.
Yes, no, nobody was reacting, and I was like crying, and he was closer to me, and we have a photo, and I gave my hand, and it was a very exciting moment in my life. I met Mario when I
Yes.
met Mario. Yes,
I'm sure. Yes. And Cassie is in his video Just a Friend 2002. She's
yes,
not
yes,
the main girl, so you gotta really pay attention to see her because she's the
yes.
friend of the main girl, and she appears like this, like very quickly. Uh, and but when she did this music video, one producer told her you should make dance classes and singing classes because your career can be more than what you are expecting, and she did it. And so when she was a teenager, because she was a model, she was always in the parties in New York. So she became friends with the producer Ryan Leslie, and
Mm-hmm.
they were like huge friends. And she said, "I want to make a song for my mom." And they start to record some demos, and actually not very serious, but they wrote the song "Kiss Me" as a duet. And Ryan Leslie showed the song to Tommy Motola, and he was like, "I want this girl in our label." So it was very easy to guess to become a singer. Actually, to be honest, looks for me that was much easier than for the other girls.
For other
And
girls, yeah.
yes, they recorded "Me and You." At first, the song was kind of different, um, but it was gave the they gave the song to DJs, and they started to play the song in Europe a lot on the clubs. If you guys want to see this first version, actually there's a music video for this on YouTube called MySpace version that she uploaded on her MySpace. Very low quality. The music video is very hard to watch, but the song you
Mm-hmm.
can hear it was already awesome. It was very good track. Production was a little bit different. And P Diddy was in this club in Germany, and he heard the song, and he wanted to know who's singing, who this track is, and he found Cassie. So that was how the Bad Boy company of Diddy became part of her career. They made like this connection, and they re-recorded "Me and You" with the production that we all know. That here in Brazil was like the number one song in the cars, the neighborhoods. Like
Okay.
I I used to live in this neighborhood that was very, I don't want to say ghetto, but it was kind of this. And when I was 17, I lived in this street like for a while, and every car of every guy was like dun, 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 all the time, all the day.
Uh,
So it was like huge for people who love it, rap and R&B here in Brazil, but not only in Brazil. Of course, it was number three on the US, number one in the R&B and hip hop charts that Mal mentioned with the other girls, number six on the UK, and it was the number 14 song 2000, in 2006 in the US. So it was like huge. And she started to sing live in some shows like TRL and something. And people started to realize that she wasn't that prepared, like vocally or in her stage presence. There was a lot of talking like, is she doing this because she's beautiful or is she talented? And when she released the second single, Long Way to Go, that is a very good track, she was only number 97 on the US, number 12 on the UK. But actually, she performed with Diddy on EMAs back then. He had a song with Nicole Scherzinger, Come to Me, but Nicole
Mm-hmm.
couldn't be there, so Cassie sang her part very differently, but I really like it too. And in 2007, the rumors started that she would be like fired from the record label, but Diddy said no. She's working on her second album with amazing producers, like Kanye West, Pharrell, Danger, but not Ryan Leslie this time. He thought that was like a mistake to make a whole album with only one producer. That what she did in the first one. I can feel that Didi was kind of, I don't want this guy. She was like, he's my friend, so I don't know, because she was always saying, I hope I can work with him again sometime, but it's fun to work with a lot of producers. And actually, it don't took that long for her to work with him again because um, they worked together on Easy You. That is my favorite song by her, and one of the songs of my life for sure. Like, is the number seven or my last FM overall tracks. Like, I really love the song. And this song was part of the soundtrack of the Step Up 2. That is an amazing soundtrack that we already mentioned here, like Mal loves Killa by Cherish, and there's a bunch of amazing songs. And she was part of the movie. She was the villain girl, Sophie, the mean girl in the movie, and it was the first movie that Cassie was part of. The song was not good in the charts. Was like number 52 on the UK, not charted on the US. We have a music video for this with Ryan Leslie with Cassie, but as I said before, number one in my heart. In my number one song in 2008 too. Yes. In 2009, she released a few singles that were supposed to be the first singles for the second album, which was Official Girl with Lil Wayne, Must Be Love with Diddy, and Let's Get Crazy with Akon. Let's Get Crazy was like the last chance that she had to have a first single for this album. So if you listen, it's not that R&B anymore. It's very similar to like Lady Gaga stuff, and
Oh,
there's also a remix that is more Lady Gaga, and the verses of Akon helps a lot to remind of Lady Gaga because of Just Dance that he was part of. So
yes.
the production is kind of similar, but not not enough. So all the singles failed, and the album was canceled. And actually, back then she changed her look, like she shaved her her hair like this, so her image was very different. And 2012 she tried to be more urban than ever, so she released songs with Young Jeezy, with Nicki Minaj, the song "The Boys," that she was kind of good on the charts, but because of Nicki Minaj track. And she released a mixtape, Rockabye Baby, that had very good reviews. But all of this is very different, very R&B, very urban, kind of rappy. There's no pop or any of these tracks. Maybe on King of Hearts, that was the first one, but it's very experimental track.
Yes.
And she was dating Diddy, so
Mm-hmm.
she entered in this time that she wasn't releasing music anymore. In 2015, Diddy said that she was recording new songs with him, and I don't know where the songs are because I never heard
Never
those
released.
songs. Yes. In 2016, she made Moves Again, Perfect Match, that also has Brandy on the cast. I don't know if Mal already watched this movie, but it's very good.
No, actually, no, friend. Actually, I
It,
didn't know that movie.
it, yes, it's good. You should try find this. I
Of
like this
course.
movie, and we mentioned Honey, the movie in other episode, and she is the star of Honey 3.
Oh,
Uh,
Yes.
okay.
yes, that I never watched it yet, but I really want to watch. In 2017, she started to release music again. Love a Loser was the single with G Easy. This song I actually like, but it's very rap R&B. In 2019, the relationship with Diddy ended, but she learned it by him because she started her own record label. of
Okay.
instrument music. And so in 2019, we had Free Friday, Free Fridays, Free Fridays by Cassie on the streaming, and released it. She released a lot of songs back then. And wait. So that's it. She released those songs 2019, and until now we don't have nothing by Cassie to listen. But I know that she's working with a lot of things like makeup, and
Yes.
she's
Mm-hmm,
modeling
mm-hmm.
again. So maybe we can have some music in the future, especially because she has her own label now. So that's it. I
Let's
talked a
hope.
lot about those girls. Yes.
No, it's okay.
No,
It's
thank
okay. It's
you,
okay.
thank you,
A lot
Lucas.
of
I mean, I
information.
didn't know many of those things, and now that you mentioned the Honey movie, the third Honey movie, last week I mentioned that Cherie recorded a song for that movie, and I
Yes.
said it was
That's it.
called Cry. It's not called Cry. It's called Sad Song, but it was something about
Okay.
being sad. So I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes.
That's okay.
Okay, yes,
So-
moving on. So, yes, thank you, Lucas, for giving us this background information about
Yes.
Christina and Cassie. And now I think Mao has a game for us. Bring it on, darling.
Yes, yes. First of all, I want to say you guys that thank you so much because that was my subject, like that was my topic this time, but you did a great effort to get information about these ladies, so thank you so much. I enjoyed so much. Now it's time for the game. And I'm going to start. I don't know if you know this game that is Kiss, Kill, or Marry.
Yes.
Yes, so I gave you like three options, and you say who you kiss, who you kill, and who you marry. Okay?
Okay. But songs or singers?
Singers actually.
Okay, but Kiss is kinda. I love the songs of this girl, right? Because I don't want to
Yes,
kiss.
yes, 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 yes. Of course, and Mariel, Mariel doesn't want
Marielle
to kiss
neither.
her.
Yes.
Yes,
I
but
only kiss
it's like
Cassie. Cass, I'm down to
okay,
kiss.
yes.
Okay, I'm not a lesbian, but I think I can find beauty in girls too. So I will give it a try this time.
Yes, yes, yes. It's
Yes, girl.
it's more about
It's ludicrous.
like yes, more about like taste, nor
I
in a
understand. I
very
understand.
literal
Yes,
yes,
yes, yes. I'm
yes.
just kidding.
Yes,
We
yes,
feel
yes.
ya. We
So,
feel ya. Yeah.
okay, 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 perfect. So, for the first option, Brandy, Monica, and Alia. Mariel, who you marry, who you kiss, and who you kill.
Marry Aaliyah, I kiss Brandy, and I kill Monica.
Okay.
Okay.
Wha- Why Monica?
Because I'm not so familiar with Monica's music. I only know her
Okay.
album that has Angel of Mine. I think the album is called The
The
Boy
Boy
Is
Is
Mine,
Mine.
right?
Yes.
I'm only familiar with that album. I need to check out more of her stuff. So that's why I put her. Not because I like
In
to
the- in
kill
those-
her, but
Yes, yes, yes. I know. I
so
know.
yes, but I'm more familiar with Aaliyah and Brandy's stuff. So
Brandy.
that's why.
Okay, perfect. What
Yeah.
about you,
Luquitas.
Luquitas?
I would marry Brandy because the songs are more sweet. I don't know, more princess vibe.
Yes.
And Aaliyah, I would kiss the very mysterious Aaliyah. And I would
Yes.
kill Monica for the same reason because I only like The Boy Is Mine and Angel of Mine. So that's the reason.
Okay, okay. Very,
And you,
very,
Mao?
very. It makes sense. Oh, for me it's very, very difficult, but I would say that I will kiss Alia. Oh my God, it's very hard because I love these girls. But I kiss Alia, I marry Brandy, and I kill Monica. Not because, of course, not because I don't know very
Sorry,
much about
Monica.
Monica because yes, sorry Monica, because I love Monica so much. But if you put me in this place of choosing, I have to say I love Brandy or Alia more than Monica. Well,
Okay, okay.
what about Ashanti, Maya, and Christina Milian? Who you kiss, who you kill, and who you marry, Maria?
I marry Ashanti, I kiss Christina, and I kill Maya. Same reason.
Okay,
I need to
okay,
be
okay, okay.
more into Maya's music, but I love some of her songs. But yeah, she's the least favorite in my list.
Favorite.
So yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, for me, I would marry Christina Milian because she's my favorite,
Yes.
so I can live a long life with her in her songs. And
Yes.
I would kiss Maya, so we can become the case of the ex with her.
Okay.
And I would kill Ashanti. Yes,
Okay. 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 Okay.
I'm
Why?
quiet the whole video, but I'm not a huge fan of Ashanti. To be honest, I
Oh,
really
okay.
love the songs with the guys, the Ja Rule song, the Fat Joe, but her song that there's only one song that I like of her that I'm not going to mention
Okay.
because I don't know the other question.
Okay. 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 Okay.
And you,
So
Mao?
I,
No, no, no! Don't
well,
escape. You
I,
tell us too.
of course, I marry Maya, I kiss Ashanti, and I kill Christina Milian. I love
Very different,
Christina,
the
of
three of
course.
us.
Yes, very different. I love Christina, but I love Maya more, of course, and Ashanti. They were part of my adolescence, so I think this is the reason.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. The next question is, what is your favorite album from Alia, Brandy, and Monica? Like choosing one from the three of them.
Okay, album, favorite album, you
Album,
said.
yes, yes.
Okay,
Not by each of them, just like favorite
one.
album.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay, okay.
No,
from the
Alia
from the
Brandy,
from Alia, Brandy, and
Alia,
Monica.
Monica. Aaliyah, Brandy, and Monica. Okay. Mine would
Yes,
be Aaliyah's 2001. Her
yes. The
her
Red album.
self-titled, the red one. Her
Yes,
that one. I adored that album, and it helped
perfect,
me a
perfect.
lot when my daughter was born. That album helped me a lot with some songs to sleep her.
Oh, really?
So yes, I
Oh,
will always
yes.
keep it in mind because she wouldn't sleep, so I would play Rock the Boat, and she would calm
Yes.
down. So yes,
Oh,
that's why. Yes,
it's very interesting information. This song makes
yes.
works as a lullaby or something like that.
If you have a baby, play Rock the Boat, and it will suit the baby because it's really calm. And Aaliyah's voice is like, oh yes, oh, yeah,
Yes.
rock the boat, rock the boat. So yes, do that to
I
your
love
baby,
that
and you will be
information.
thanking me later.
Great. What about you,
Uh,
Luquitas?
for me, is one album of Brandy, but is one that was way later. I think it's right here. The song is right here of the album.
Human is the album. Yes,
This one, yes. I used to
I
listen
have it.
to this one back then. Yes, please bring
I
it.
love you, Mao.
Yes, yes, yes. I
And
have to
I
show
love
it.
the cover of this one. It's
Yes,
really beautiful. She's
Oh
looking
yes,
stunning.
she
Yes.
looks great there. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So this
And
one I used to listen a
Mario
lot.
mentioned this one.
yes. And what about you, Mao?
Well, for me, it's very again, it's very difficult to choose, but I think I have to choose. Um, it's like I know that you understand me, guys, because it's like different times when you feel connected with an album and then you feel connected to the other album by the same
Yes.
artist. So, but I have to say that the Never Say Never album was a very important part of my discovering of the R&B music when I
Yeah.
was like listening a lot of R&B music. Never Say Never was part of this. I remember it was very like as I mentioned, R&B music here in Colombia is not very easy to find. I remember I found this album in downtown here in Bogota. So it was a very special moment because I was like, oh, I can't believe this album is in this store. So I was very excited about it. So I have to say this album was with me with different moments in my life. So yes, Never Say Never is my album. So well, I have a question. You know that The Voice Mine was a huge hit. If you um take out Monica of the song and put other artists, who would it be?
Wow.
From
Not
the ones.
no.
Any
One
artist.
artist, yeah, any artist, even pop, even other
Oh,
artists.
okay. Brandy and. Dang, it's difficult. Uh, um, I'm trying to find
Imagine
who could it
another
be.
singer. Yes.
Dang, this one's a difficult one, Mal. Um, if you have it, Lucas, please say it.
Actually, I was laughing because I thought Ricky Martin, like the boy is my brain, but you would be interested to watch.
Yes.
But for me, it would be Mel B. I will love to see
Oh,
her in a stronger song in R&B to
Okay,
launch it, her solo
oh.
career.
interesting.
I like
Interesting.
that option. I'm not a huge fan of Mel B, but I like that option.
That could work. Yes.
I'm
Yes.
gonna go with Janet.
Oh, great too.
Yes,
Great
because
too.
Janet Jackson
Yes.
was at her peak back in the day too.
Yes.
So I think that collaboration would have been huge. Like,
Okay.
uh, because Janet was so popular and Brandy was just starting to take off. So
Starring. Yes.
I think it would be a great collab. So yeah. And what about you, Mal?
Okay, okay. I always dream about a collaboration with Aaliyah, another female artist, like for example Janet, because actually Janet wanted Aaliyah for a collaboration in that time. So I go with Aaliyah. I think Aaliyah would match perfect in The Voice Mine instead of Monica. So yes, actually, the feud started with Brandy and Aaliyah at first, like the tension. So I think
Okay.
it would be great. Yes. Well, the other question is, guys, who do you consider is the real princess of R&B for you? Like Britney is the princess of pop. Like who do you consider who for you is the princess of R&B?
But does it have to be one of the ones we mentioned today?
No.
In general, okay.
In general, okay.
Mm, I'll say Ashanti.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
I like it. Yes. What about you,
Lucas?
Luquitas?
Tatiana Ali. No, I'm kidding. I love her, but no. Uh, if for I think for me is really Ashanti or actually Aliyah. Even
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan, but I know how big they were, and I remember how big Ashanti was when she was released.
Yes.
So for me is one of them.
And you, Mal?
Perfect. Uh, for me, it's Brandy because all people consider that is Aaliyah, the princess of R&B, and it's true. But Brandy has a a huge catalog in music and did different things. And of course, it's sad that said that we lost Ali at that moment in time. But I think it's Brandy the real princess of R&B till today because she's still iconic. She's still a legend. So yes, yes. Well, I going to give you the names and you have to choose one or the other. Brandy or Monica, Mariel. You're muted, I think.
Yeah, I can go. It's Brandy for me.
Okay, Brandy. Okay, okay, okay. I know the reasons. Because
Ah,
It's okay.
because maybe now I know that I have to suggest more Monica songs for you guys to listen. Yes, and
yes.
I think it's the same for you, Mariel. Brandy.
Uh, it's Brandy. Yes, definitely.
Okay, perfect. Alia
Mal,
or Mai.
I don't want to disappoint you, but I already heard the whole discography by Monica. I tried.
Okay, okay, okay. So I have to change my decision. I'm not going to share anything with you. What about Alia or Maya?
Aaliyah.
Okay,
Maya for me.
okay, okay. Ashanti or Christina Milian?
Ashanti.
Christina Milian.
Ashanti, Christina. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. That's all, guys. That was my game. I
Okay.
have to say I really enjoyed this episode. Today I had the opportunity to show a lot of things. For nobody's a secret that I love R&B music. I love these ladies. These ladies were part of, has been part of my life since the time I was starting listening to R&B music. So thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to talk about this. Thank you for the audience, and I hope you enjoy this episode and the R&B fans enjoy this episode
Yes.
as I did.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mao, for letting us know more about what you love because we definitely know that you are a super R&B fan and we love to learn something different and I think that each episode has something new to teach us because I mean you know how Lucas teaches us something, I teach you something, you teach us
Yes.
something, so
Yes.
it's great how we can learn a lot from each other. I know that we love
Yes.
music, but I think each one of us has something to bring
Yes.
to this podcast. So thank you, Mao, because you are a legend in R and B.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want to
And
disappoint the R&B
no,
fans.
and
Of
obviously there
course.
are other R and B singers that we should be talking about in further
Yes.
episodes. Like I mentioned on last week's episode, if you didn't hear the names of the artists you were looking for, be patient because there's a lot to talk about in Ready Set
Yes,
Pop.
yes, 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 yes. For the audience, maybe you were expecting to talk about Ciara, Keisha Cole, other ladies that were very important, but don't worry because these ladies would be part of other episodes. I'm sure about it.
Yes.
Yes, so um, be patient because
Be
we will
patient.
cover all the pop princesses and R&B princesses out there. So um, thank you so much, guys, for another fun episode. Thanks to the audience for writing us, for giving us your feedback, for your comments and stuff. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait to see you again. So, Lucas, anything else you want to add?
Just say thank you to everyone watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And I learned a lot today, so thank you, Mal, for this topic. I really can wait for the next one. We can talk about JoJo, Paula Dianda. There are
Paula
some
Dianda,
R&B
yes.
girls in Brazil that I would love to mention. So we can do the part two for sure. And thank you
Yes.
guys. Always a pleasure.
Yes, thank you,
Always a
boys.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Don't forget that in every episode we have a playlist in Spotify dedicated to the
Oh
episode. This
yes.
time We will
Yes.
dedicate a one playlist, actually, a one playlist from the three of us, dedicated to these ladies in R&B, Brandy, Maya, Shanti, and all the girls that we were talking about today.
Yes. Yes. Don't forget to subscribe, everybody, and to give us a big thumbs up. And we will be seeing you next time. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye.